You can go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Um, I would like to start off by saying thank you for joining. I was very nervous, but I know it was needed, being that I have my own testimony when it comes to the X39 patch. So again, thank you, and hopefully you get a lot of beneficial information to be able to, process and hopefully join and be a part of the Lifeway family. I was introduced by Lifewave by Cynthia Lighty. I went through some surgical situations, which caused me to not have such the best quality of life. Um, it actually changed my life within 24 hours. I was going through hot flashes. I couldn't sleep. I had zero energy and so many other things. Um, I was having about maybe 10 hot flashes per day, major hot flashes. Now I'm down to maybe three hot flashes per day, and they're very minimum. Another thing that bothered me a lot was I had a lot of severe back pain, which is now gone. So I'm truly grateful for that. It's just so many different things that I can discuss and talk about. So, I've been sharing it with people. There's a friend of ours in the family. His name is Curtis Knott. He just experienced a stroke. I took him the patch and he told me he was not able to do things, he was basically at home. Within 24 hours after contacting him to follow up, he was at the barber shop, at the nail shop, he's shopping, he's at the gym now. So I actually signed him up yesterday because he didn't want to go another day without patches. I also introduced Yannick. She just had a stroke and she's in her early 30s. Um, I went and took her actual patch yesterday and she's on her way and she's excited. So I believe she's on the call today. But Verdita, I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity. I am definitely out here giving my testimony, if anything, I just want to help people and help to provide a quality of life for those that are interested. And again, I want to thank you and I hope you get some very informative information tonight to actually, enlighten you on how life can look for you in the future. So again, thank you. And Verdita Monk, I'll hand it back over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Carice, for putting this call together and inviting your friends. And yeah, I just wanted to let you all know that I just met Carice literally today over the phone and had to encourage her to put this call together. And I'm glad she did because this is definitely about changing people's lives. You can stop your video now, Carice, and your microphone. Thank you so much. So you guys, I'm really excited about what this call is, what this information is going to do for you. I will tell you really quickly why I am here. My husband and I had a similar experience. Everybody's body is different, but we did not think this technology that you're going to hear about was something we needed. We didn't think that we were sickly or take any kind of medication, anything like that. We thought we were healthy. Well, let me tell you what happened the very first night that we wore this patch. My husband snored like a bear. I'm talking about really loud, would run you out of the room. Not only that, he had acid reflux. So between the snoring and the acid reflux, he would choke and cough and snore really loud all night long for over 10 years. I was miserable. I could not sleep either because of that. The very first night we put this patch on, he stopped snoring. That was 2.5 years ago. He has not snored in 2.5 years. Can you believe that? But what happened, it got our attention enough that we had been on a call just like the one you're on tonight. And when we heard what this patch was doing for people, we said there is no way that we can not share this with everybody we know. And we took off running, sharing it with everybody we knew. And at this point, because of our commitment and our focus, and our determination, we were going to tell as many people We have hit the very, very top position in this company called Senior Presidential Director and have a team of almost 8,000 people now. And it is, blessed that many people. And that's what this is all about. So I'm going to get into the presentation now so that you can get a better understanding of why Carice is so excited. So we're talking about a product that's way ahead of its time, you guys. We're talking about a product that harnesses light to heal your body. Why is all this important? You see, I know you've heard of situations where your doctor or someone's doctor may say, there's nothing else we can do for them. In other words, people, they send them to hospice. There's nothing else we can do. Or there's some kind of condition. They may not be going to hospice, but it's some kind of condition that a doctor can't seem to get under control. So many doctors have resorted to something called stem cell injections. Stem cell injections is where they take a needle and they stick it in your body somewhere. Let's say it's your knee and it's bone on bone, and that's supposed to relieve the pain. But that same injection does not help your heart or your liver or your kidney. It only helps you with the knee. That means that injection is localized and it's very expensive. It could range from $1,000 up to $25,000. And then there are people that have had to spend that kind of money on a stem cell injection because they are so hopeful that it's going to resolve whatever chronic issue they're dealing with. Not only that, insurance doesn't even cover it. And 30% of the time, it doesn't even work. So that doesn't necessarily sound like a good option. And this is why we want to introduce you to this technology called the X39 Stem Cell Reactivation Patch. As you see, these beautiful women are wearing it on their shoulder just to display. You can wear it anywhere on your body. But by the time we get you off this call, you're going to feel like, okay, your body is going to be elevated. Your copper peptides in your body are going to be elevated. And when that happens, the stem cells in your body are going to be reactivated and your whole body is going to be regenerated. And so why are we talking about? Why are we talking about? I just gave you a hint that people's stem cells, they're needing stem cell injections. And why are they needing that? Because by the time we get to be age 30, you guys, half of our stem cells are going dormant. That's when you start getting tired real easy. That's when you start maybe having high blood pressure or diabetes and stuff. But by the time we're 60, 90% of them are dormant. And that means we really can't do anything because see, the stem cells in our bodies, they are the intended repair system of a body. Our stem cells are designed such that our bodies can heal themselves. But how can they heal themselves if the stem cells are dormant? So the fewer stem cells you have in the body, the slower you're going to heal. I have a 5-year-old grandson, just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. I have a 5-year-old grandson. A couple of weeks ago, I don't know if he was running or walking or what he was doing, but he was in his classroom and he tripped and fell on his on a desk, and it put a gash up under his eye and up here above below his eyebrow. And I didn't get to see him until 2 days after that happened. But when I saw the picture when it happened, it was blood everywhere. Do you know when I saw him 2 days later, I couldn't even tell he'd had the accident? And that's because he's 5 years old. See, their stem cells are really working at that age. So but if that had happened to you, that you would have had a bruised eye and scars for a long time. And those scars may not have even gone away by the time you're 60. So you see what I'm saying now. Now, how does this work? This is a proprietary form of phototherapy. It's about the size of a quarter, then like a Band-Aid. You apply it as if like you would a Band-Aid. Just peel this stuff off the back, and then you just put it anywhere on your body. These guys, this is a patented nanocrystal technology, and it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. Let me explain to you what phototherapy is. When you go out in the sun and the sun elevates vitamin D in your body, that's a form of phototherapy, but you don't need so the vitamin D in your body is elevated when you go out into the sun, but there's not any vitamin D floating around in the air depositing into your body. The vitamin D is already in your body. That's the same thing with the stem cells. The stem cells are already in your body, but when you put this technology, and we call it a technology or a patch, when you put it on your body, the heat and light of your body is going to reflect off of the crystals that are in this patch. You can't even see them. They're called nanocrystals. The heat and light of your body is going to reflect off of those crystals. And when that happens, copper peptides in your body are going to be reactivated. And when that happens, they're going to be elevated. And when that happens, the stem cells are reactivated in your body. That is called photobiomodulation. This is a phenomenon. This is something scientists and doctors said nobody could ever come up with a way to reactivate those dormant stem cells. The only way you would get that experience is if someone put a needle in you and inject it into your body. Well, I'm going to introduce you to somebody in a moment that proved all of them wrong. But this is non-transdermal. It doesn't penetrate, anything into the body. There are no drugs or chemicals in it. Doctors love this because it doesn't interfere with the drugs that they're administering to their patients or they're prescribing to their patients. Professional athletes love it because they cannot be guilty of using any type of performance enhancing drugs. Yet these patches enhance their performance, but there's no way to detect it because there's nothing in the patch, nothing but crystals. Remember, crystals and amino acids and salts and sugars, nothing in the patch. 100% non-invasive, meaning nothing is not going to interfere or hurt you in any kind of way. But I want to be careful to say this, to give you this disclaimer. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition. It's simply going to reboot your body so that it can begin to heal itself. Now, here's the genius that I've been referring to. His name is David Schmidt. He is the CEO and the inventor of the patch. He has over 200 patents now, you guys. He's a scientist and inventor specializing in age reversing. You see, in 2008, David started focusing his attention on stem cell research because that's the biggest hot topic. They knew that this stem cell technology is what is needed to heal people's bodies. And they said nobody could do it. And so he just decided to pursue this. And it took him 10 years and $4.5 million to bring it to market. And he did over 80 case studies. These involved all these people in these case studies to see what this patch was going to do. So because of those case studies, he was able, I'm trying to get my page to move. Because of these case studies, he was able to patent this, you guys. And the patent means he was able to prove it. It reads a wearable phototherapy apparatus that produces beneficial effects to the human body, such as activation of stem cells, improvement in strength, improvement in stamina, pain relief via a non-transdermal container. See, you can't say something in a patent unless it's true. The case studies prove that it's going to reactivate the dormant stem cells. Right here it says it, okay? Now listen, it's going to increase strength. These are some of the benefits they noticed in the case studies, and many of us are experiencing these right now. Increase strength, reduce inflammation. You know, if you've got inflammation, wherever inflammation in your body, you know there's some type of disease. Energy and vitality, increased stamina, mental clarity. You heard Carice talking about Curtis, who had a stroke. I mean, restored the muscle and skeletal conditions. Improving the sleep. I told you about what happened to me and my husband. Improved skin appearance. I'm going to share with you in a moment a couple of chronic skin diseases that people have where this patch has improved that, right? Now, here's a result of a topography map. This is basically a brain scan. And in this, this was one of the case studies. They took a 77-year-old woman, placed the X39 on the back of her neck. And in the first session, there was inflammation in the brain. This orange red area here is the where there's inflammation in her brain, and there was lack of brain coherence. And in session 2, that was 3 weeks later, there was no more inflammation in her brain. And 6 weeks later, there was a complete turnaround, you guys. There was better brain coherence, no more inflammation. You guys, this could be your brain. This could be my brain. There's inflammation in the brain causes a lot of problems, and I'm going to tell you what it could cause in a moment, but this could be your liver. See, inflammation is not restricted to your brain. It's all over your body. And this is what the case study shows, that after 6 weeks, her, brain became balanced. Now, in the case studies, let me tell you some of the things that happen. In the first few days, over 4,000 genes begin to reset. That's very significant because they say resveratrol, which is in red wine, resets your genes. But guess what? You only get 2 genes reset in a glass of wine. That's a whole lot of wine you're gonna have to drink to get 4,000 genes to be reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. I just told you, I just shared with you what happened with a lady that they did the brain scan on. But guess what else? When we say your brain is unbalanced, that means you may know someone that has Alzheimer's, or someone that has dementia, or someone that has PTSD, or someone that has just depressed or autism. All of those conditions means the brain is unbalanced. I'm going to ask Miss Gwen Millsap to come on in a moment and tell you about the person that she personally knows, because she was the one to put the patch on them, that the person, the little girl was autistic. But also we have people, all kinds of conditions, people that degenerative diseases, because like I said, Parkinson's and things like that. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. That's important because the collagen is what holds the body together. If you don't have any collagen in your body, you're going to be like Jello. You can't, because the collagen is like the mortar. If you were a brick house, the mortar that holds the house together, that's the collagen in your body. It holds your body together. That's why your skin starts getting supple. The wrinkles start going away when you have more collagen. But as we get older, guess what? Collagen is depleted. But with this patch, your collagen is increased. Within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. You guys, every 6 months, this is what the patch does. For every 6 months you wear this patch, your heart reverses by 8 years. So in other words, if you wore the patch if you wore the patch a year, your heart would be 16 years younger. I have a friend named Jeffrey who wears a pacemaker, but is not operating anymore because his heart is operating on its own. He had a stroke, all this stuff. And so his cardiologist, he's been wearing the patch about 2 years now. He's 67 years old. The doctor says his heart is the heart of a 22-year-old. That's after having a stroke and all of this, being 5 insulin shots a day, which caused the stroke, and being on a pacemaker, all of that, and his heart is measuring at 22 years old. Okay, so David Smith said this is not anti-aging, this is age reversing. So how do you wear this patch? It's very simple. See, you're just going to wear this patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So let's say if you put it on at 8 in the morning, you can take it off at 8 at night. It's not critical if you miss it off about an hour or so. It's just not going to work after 12 hours. But you do want to take it off because you want your body to repair and rejuvenate. You're going to throw this away. Why? Because you're going to get 30 patches inside of this beautiful packaging. See, it's double envelope because brochures come with this, but this is the envelope that the patches come in, and then you got brochures in this envelope. So throw that away. Throw the one that you took off, throw it away, and the next day you put another one because you got 30 days worth, right? Drink plenty of water because the water is going to help you be hydrated, but this is a frequency. You guys, this is very sophisticated what we're talking about. There's a frequency in this patch, and it's going to flush the toxins out, but it's going to figure out what's going on in your body, and it's going to operate a lot better if you're hydrated. Now, I've spent a lot of time talking about all this technical stuff, excuse me, but I'm going to make this a little fun now because there is a person that I want to introduce you to that I told you about, Miss Gwen Millsap. Miss Gwen, would you please come on really quickly and share with everybody, number one, what happened to you and your husband, and then the young lady that was autistic.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Hi, Verdita. How are you?
Wonderful.
This has been an awesome evening. Everything's been great, but I'm not going to hold up much time. We were introduced to the patch, and I was the first one to experienced it. I had been suffering sciatic nerve damage for 48 years in my back because of my last pregnancy. And I was so miserable. I couldn't sit long. I couldn't move. And I worked in a bank and sat at a desk. So I was miserable most of the time. And I started uh, taking ibuprofen, which damaged my kidneys on top of that. But anyway, my back was in constant just pain, burning and moving, sciatic. If you ever had sciatic nerve pain, you can only imagine. But when I was introduced to this patch at our church one Saturday, they put it on my back. And within 5 minutes, I could bend and jump and twist and move. All of that pain left my body. And I haven't had it. I haven't had it. Now, if I overdo something and pick up something heavy, I may do irritate my back, but I take put a patch on. But it literally took that pain right away. And I told you it damaged my kidneys. My kidneys were at 29%. And after 10 months of wearing this patch, my doctor told me that my kidneys are back functioning at 55%. Now, I bought the patch home that same day that I was patched, and because my husband had been suffering with neuropathy, he's diagnosed diabetic, and he was dragging his feet for 8 months from April to December, dragging his feet on a cane. He couldn't walk, he couldn't put a shoe on it, so he wasn't able to go out to church. We was just going back and forth to doctor visits and back home. And they were giving him shots, they were giving him medication and heat wraps and everything in the world you could give him for that foot. It may last a couple hours or a day or two, and it was right back. So this day I asked him, I said, he said, what happened to you at church? Because he could see that I came in, I didn't have that grimace of pain on my face. I was just so excited. So anyway, I said, well, Angie got some of these patches that I'm wearing, and I would love to try it on you. He said, I don't know. I said, let's just try it and see what's going to happen. Now, mind you, he hadn't did anything in 8 months, but doctor and home, doctor and home. I put the patch right back here on the back of his neck, and I told him, I said, I'll be back about 15 minutes and check on you. Well, I forgot. So 18, 20 minutes passed, and I cried out to the den where he was, and I said, Bae, how's your patch doing? And do you feel anything? And he wouldn't answer. I didn't get an answer. So I called again. I said, Bae, is the patch working? What's it doing for you? By this time, I got down into the den and realized my husband was gone. I came back and looked at our front window, and his truck was gone. And he hadn't driven, hear me when I say in 8 months, not even walking without a cane. So about 20 minutes passed, and he came back, and he came in the house, and I noticed he didn't have his cane. I said, okay, so where did you go, and what did this patch do for you? He said, I had to go out back. We have a pond out back, down to the pond and get out and just walk around and give God glory. He said, I am pain free. All of my pain in my foot is gone. And he said, and you know what? He had surgery in 2000. He said, my L4 and L5, where I had that surgery, I don't have any pain. And none of that has come back. But the same night, like Verdita's husband, Harvey, my husband stopped snoring, and he hasn't snored since. So we are so excited. But if you want me to tell a little bit about what happened to Bella, she's a 3-year-old, my little niece, 3 years old. She has autism to the point where she's nonverbal, and she goes to daycare. And Bella goes in and she just walks around the room and just touch stuff. She doesn't sit. She doesn't bother anybody. So they don't bother her. So when it's time for a snack and stuff, they get her and they take her to the potty and whatever. But they don't make her sit down because she's not structured. So we gave her mother the patch, and she put the patch on Bella. Bella goes to school the next day, and the teacher noticed that something, she took a picture of Bella and sent it to her mother. She said, what did you do different with her? Bella was sitting down at the desk, putting her alphabets in order, working at her desk. She had never sat down the whole time she'd been there a year. She got up and went to the potty with the other kids, which is something she's never done. She walked over and picked up her snack and came back to her desk and sat down. Now, for somebody that never did any of this was amazing. And Verdita, let me tell you this, you don't even know this. My daughter started giving her patches about a week ago. And a couple days ago, I think it was about 4 days ago, Bella walks into the room where her mother is and says, Mama. She called her mother's name for the very first time. So I'm excited. We're all excited, and the patches are doing wonderful things.
Wow, Miss Gwen, that was amazing. You're right. I didn't know that about Bella, and I'm hoping these stories, you guys, as you're hearing this testimony, and you heard what Carice said, think of people that you know and care about. Write their names down. This is serious business we're talking about. And I told you, this patch is doing stuff that no one can even imagine. But can you imagine a little girl for a whole year in her classroom? All she ever did was walked, according to Gwen, she said, walk around in circles and never sat down. This is the first time she ever sat down, got in line and went to the potty. Who does that? Autistic 3-year-old? Now you know this is something, okay? And what it did for her husband. So yes, thank you so much, Gwen. I'm just gonna get back into this presentation. And this is the gentleman I told you he had a condition called vitiligo. There is no cure for vitiligo, but look what this patch did for him after 1 year of using it. Isn't that amazing? And look at this lady. She looks 20 years younger. She looks 20 years younger after using the patch for 3 years. So you don't ever know what this patch is going to do. Look at this man with psoriasis on his back. And I think this was about a month later of wearing the patch, all the psoriasis went away. So there's many more testimonies that you could go to this site called thisisitinfo.com. And when you go there and click on testimonies, you might see this where it says neuropathy. You click on neuropathy, there'll be a video behind that word, and it'll be a recording of someone that had neuropathy. Or if you look on eye improvement, you may hear someone that I know someone that was blind in one eye just for 2 years because she had a detached retina, and they could not, after 2 surgeries, her retina, they could not reattach her retina. But 2 days of wearing this patch, her retina reattached itself. And she went back to the doctor and said, yes, your retina is reattached. I don't know how it happened, but it was the patch, y'all. So we're experiencing miraculous things happening to people every single day. Everything you may not consider miraculous, but when it happens to you, it gets your attention and it makes your life more pleasant. So listen, we spent quite a bit of time. I hope by now you're convinced that you can experience health freedom when you put this patch on your body. But and I'm gonna tell you something, it's one thing to be healthy, but it's another thing that's not comfortable is when you have financial struggles. You guys, many people are about to experience some things happening in their life because of AI. People are going to be losing their jobs because of the things that are going on in this world. People are experiencing, their health care is going to go up. Those that do have health care, it's going to, unless something happens, we don't know what's going to happen, but we want to put you in a position to experience financial freedom. And as you're sharing this with people, because you are going to get off this phone and you're going to think of somebody that you care about and say, you know what, I have a niece that's autistic. She needs these patches. And as you share this with people, the company will compensate you if you put yourself in a position to do that. And then you're going to experience time freedom. I will tell you this as a personal testimony. My husband and I are both self-employed. I'm an interior designer. He's a business consultant. And we were really busy. We were making good money. I was well into the 6 figures. But I will tell you, after 5 months of being in this business, because of the fact that we shared it with so many people, and those people don't want to stop using the patch. What happens every single time people buy these patches, residual income starts coming in. You don't even have to share it but one time, and they're going to continue to use the patch. Like Miss Gwen, I don't think she's going to ever stop using the patch, right? And her husband isn't either. You get to create a residual income stream. That means you don't have to go to work and make the money. That means it's coming in regardless. So within 5 months, we had replaced the income we were making at a full-time career. So just know that could be very lucrative. So I want you to put your business hats on now, because I want you to know that LifeWave is a global business opportunity. It's in over 80 countries. We're experiencing exponential growth. Matter of fact, we are the fastest growing home-based business in the world. And network marketing is specifically the industry we're in. The company was doing about 20 million in 2021. But in 2022, right, this is right after the X39 came out, because there's other technologies and patches David Schmidt developed. But when this patch came out, the company exploded to 320 million. Why? Because the patch works. And then in 2023, it went up to 430 million. Last year, it hit 600 million. And this year, very soon, this company is going to be a $1 billion company. Have you ever had a chance to be a part of a $1 billion company? Did anybody give you a call when Apple came out and say, you better get some Apple stock, or Microsoft? Did anybody ever call you? We're calling you right now and letting you know that you have an opportunity to participate in a company that's going to be a $1 billion company. And guess what? You have the opportunity to take advantage of this so that you can take a percentage of that $1 billion. And this is, we're calling you right now. How is this growth possible, you guys? Because this is not a Me Too product like most companies. A lot of companies have weight loss, skincare, hair care. You can get that stuff anywhere, but you cannot get this patch except through a LifeWave representative, okay? Now, we have exclusivity on this, and this screams opportunity. So our compensation plan, you guys, is very lucrative, but our company cannot make any promises or guarantees regarding your income. Your success or failure is based on your skills and your personal effort and your desire. But we're going to help you as much as we can. It's very, very simple, because all you got to do is share, just the way Carice did. All you got to do is share with people you care about, and they're going to start using the patch, and you're going to start getting paid. Now, this form right here basically just describes how you can get the patch. You could be a one-time customer and get this 30-day supply, and I know you agree it's worth it, for $150. Now, if you want to get it every month and get it at the wholesale price like we do, it's $99.95 a month, $100 a month, about $3 a day, price of a cup of coffee. But if you want to earn money, because as you share with people, the company can compensate you, but only if you get one of these packages. For example, if you're married and you got a spouse and both of you want to use the patch, you might want to consider the core pack. That's 3 of these X39s in there. That's enough for you and your spouse for 1 month. And then if you refer people, like there's another sleeve left. We call these a sleeve. We call that a sleeve. And if you got a sleeve left over, you can probably share it with about 10 people. You can get, like, each person you share it with, like Carice shared it with Mr. Curtis. She probably gave him 3 patches. And when she did that, she gives her enough to share with 10 people in a core. But the advanced package, you're going to get 6 sleeves. You got way more people you can share it with. Make a list of people you care about. And I guarantee you're going to come up with 30 to 50 people. But that's what happened with me and my husband. We saw, we saw the big picture, and we started thinking of all these people we cared about. We wrote down a list of 25 couples, and each couple, we gave them 10 patches. I don't know, we didn't know any better. I recommend maybe 3 patches, and we put them in these envelopes where it's a postcard. It says, have you been patched? And in the side of it's on one side, it gives you the instructions. On the other side, it gives you the benefits. But on one side, it tell you to go to thisisinfo.com for more information. That site I told you about, because that has the case studies. It has the doctor's reviews, all of that. But we put them in the envelope and we share them with people. And if they use those patches, they see some results, they're going to be calling you back and say, how can I get some of these patches? Same way Carice did, same way that Mr. Curtis did. Okay. Now, when you get this top package, which is called the premium, That's $1,750. You're getting 20 sleeves. Remember, they're $99, about $100 a piece. So you're saving $250. This is the package Carice got because she has a big vision. You already heard her talking. And the good thing about the premium is this. See, in order to earn money in our company, you need to place at least one 30-day supply every month. That's enough for you to share with other people or use it yourself. If you're using that one 30-day supply, you don't have any left to share with anybody else. That's why we highly recommend the 2-sleeve subscription, which is going to cost you about $200. It's going to let you maximize the compensation plan because with the 1 sleeve, you can only earn $100 a week. But with the 2-sleeve, you got to maximize the compensation plan. I'll explain that to you later. But this package, the premium, is going to keep you active for 90 days. So you don't even, so I heard someone today say that the person that they're, this cup, I forget who it is, but the person is going to get 2 sleeves for themselves, because we got other patches, like I said, and 2 for their spouse. They're going to spend almost $400 per month, and they were going to be customers. But they could easily put all of that in this package right here. If they're going to spend $400 a month, they could just go on and get this package and stay active for 90 days and start earning some money. So that's just something to think about. Now, if a person wants to be a retail customer, the first way we get paid is retail profits. You make $50 if they get the 1 sleeve. If they get the preferred customer, meaning they're going to stay active every month, they pay $99.95, you make $20. But you don't just make $20 that one time, you make $20 every month. If they stay on a year, you make $240 just on that one customer. Okay, that's called a preferred customer. Now, the people who get the packages, you get something called a product introductory bonus, or PIB for short. If they get the core where there's 3 sleeves in there, you're going to get $35 and 180 points. Now, the points are very significant, and I'll explain that in a moment. The people who get the advanced pack, they're going to get 6 sleeves. You're going to make $75 and 300 points. The people that get the premium pack, you'll earn $405 and 745 points. So watch this. You can earn in the next way we get paid, which is called the binary. This is where all those points that we talk about, those points go into the binary. And in the binary, as you start getting promoted, you can work your way up and end up at the senior presidential director level one day. My husband and I did this in about 9 months, where you can earn up to $25,000 per week, not per month, but per week. So you can maximize the comp plan here. Now, this is what the binary looks like. Now pay attention, because this is really interesting. This is you, and then you said, okay, my mom needs this, my dad needs this. Well, you wouldn't sign up your mom and your dad, you sign them up together. My uncle needs this, my best friend needs this, my coworker needs this. There's 4 people you just shared it with. You're going to put 2 of them on your left side and 2 on your right. And we'll show you how to do that. But when you get 4 people, you have now made it to what we call the manager position. The manager position opens up the compensation plan where you can start getting ranked up, where you can earn up to $25,000 a week. But here's what you want to know about the binary. This is very important. If this is you and you brought these people in, and let's say another person comes in, they have to fall below this person here at the bottom, or even over the person over here. So for example, Carice was enrolled by Cynthia. Cynthia, I believe, may have put Carice on her left side. So if Cynthia brings another person in on her left, they're going to fall under the last person that Carice brought in. So that means that these people are going to benefit 100% of all the volume that's generated by this last person. In other words, every time a person falls in this binary, you're going to get paid on them, whether you know them or not. Whether they fall on your right team or your left team, you get paid every single month. And if they enroll 100 people, you get paid on all 100 people, you guys. So you can see how one day you could be earning up to $25,000 a week. This is very, very lucrative. Now, in order to be a manager, you need to get that advanced pack, which is $535. If you know you want to make money, you may want to be the advanced pack. Or if you came in with a core, you can upgrade to the advanced pack, or you can place another order to get you to 300 points, okay? But as soon as you got those 4 people in place and you're in advance, you can start getting paid on the next way of pay, which is called the matching bonuses. This is very significant, you guys. Remember I said you can earn up to 25,000 a week in the binary? Well, in the matching bonuses, you can get paid to in unlimited levels, meaning even if you enrolled 100 people, you're going to get a 25% match on what they earn in the binary. If you, let's say if you enrolled me, I made $1,000 this week in the binary, you're going to get $250. And you just enrolled me one time. Then the people that I've shared it with, those people fall on your second level and you get 20% of what they earn. The people on your third level, you also get 20% of what they earn. This begins to be very, very lucrative, you guys. Now, there's much more breakdown, information on this site called thisisitteam.com, where we'll explain it more on videos and demonstrations. But I tell you, you don't have to think too hard. All you got to do is be excited and share this with other people and watch the money come. Okay. I already told you about these postcards. We can help you get those where you put your patches in. We do calls like this every night. And just know that any day of the week, we can get you on one of our calls, okay? But now it's time, you guys, to make your move and make a decision because, if you're serious about your dream may be not only to just be healthy and to help everybody in your family, you may have some chronic illnesses going on in your family. And now it's time for you to do something about it. We just shared with you many ways that people's lives are being changed. But if you're serious about your dreams, whether it's to be financially independent, I mean, trust me, this is it. That's the name of our team. This is it. You remember I told you about this is it info and this is it team. This is hope for your future, you guys. For my husband and I, we're retirement age. We are really, literally at the point where we need to retire. But because I enjoy what I'm doing here, I don't, I'm not ready to retire now, but I'm saying we were not in a position to retire prior to getting in this business because the money is coming anyway. It's residual income and it's only getting bigger and bigger every month. You have the chance to be part of something real big, you guys, and help a gazillion people at the same time. So listen, I want to thank you all for getting on the call. This is what I asked you to do. If you don't mind, text Carice or whoever invited you to this call and say, Carice, call me right now because I'm ready to get started. I want to position myself because remember that binary, every time somebody sign up, they fall below everybody else. So the quicker you position yourself in this binary, the quicker you're going to earn money on other people's efforts. And so text or call her and say, I'm ready to get started, Carice. Let me know I'm ready to get this package. Or if you just want to try 130-day supply, she can get you to be a preferred customer or a retail customer, whatever you want. But also, just let her know that if you're not available tonight, let her know what time to reach you tomorrow. Text her because she's definitely going to be following up with you. But thank you all so much for your time. Thank you, Carice, for putting this together. I said this call is recorded and I will send you the recording. Thank you. Have a great day. Good night.